This session explores the type of programming language, focusing on the difference between high-level and low-level language, and the role of assembly language. It also covers translators like compiler and interpreter, detailing their advantage and disadvantage. Finally, the session discussed the feature and the benefit of Integrated Development Environment (IDEs), essential tools for programmers. People use many different languages to communicate with each other. In order for two people to understand each other, they need to speak the same language, or another person, an interpreter, is needed to translate from one language to the other language. Programmers use many different programming languages to communicate with computers. Computers only understand their own language, called machine code. A program needs to be translated into machine code before it can be understood by a computer. Programs are our way of telling a computer what to do, how to do it, and when to do it. This enables a single computer to perform many different types of tasks. A computer can be used to stream videos, write reports, provide weather forecasting, and many other jobs. A computer program is a list of instructions that enable a computer to perform a specific task. Computer programs can be written in high-level language and low-level language, depending on the task to be performed and the computer to be used. Most programmers write programs in high-level language. High-level language enable a programmer to focus on the problem to be solved and require no knowledge of the hardware and instruction set of the computer that will use the program. Many high-level programming languages are portable and can be used on different types of computer. High-level languages are designed with programmers in mind. Programming statements are easier to understand than those written in a low-level language. This means that programs writing in a high-level language are easier to read and understand as the language used is closer to English. Write in a shorter time. Debug at the development stage. Maintain once in use. This snippet of program to edit two numbers together is a single program statement writing in a typical high-level language. It shows how easy it is to understand what is happening in a high-level language program. There are many different high-level programming languages in use today, including C++, Java, Python, Visual Basic, and many more. Once a programmer has learned the technique of programming in any high-level language, these can be transferred to writing programs in other high-level languages. Low-level languages relate to the specific architecture and hardware of particular type of computer. Low-level languages can refer to machine code, the binary instruction that a computer understands, or assembly language that needs to be translated into machine code. Then, what is machine code? Programmers do not usually write in machine code as it is difficult to understand, and it can be complicated to manage data manipulation and storage. This snippet of program to edit two numbers together is written in typical machine code, shown in both hexadecimal and binary, and consists of three statements. As you can see, this is not easy to understand in binary. Machine code is usually shown in hexadecimal. Fewer programmers write programs in an assembly language. Those programmers who do this so for the following reasons: to make use of special hardware, to make use of special machine-dependent instruction, to write code that doesn't take up much space in primary memory, to write code that performs a task very quickly. The following snippet of programs to edit two numbers together is written in a typical assembly language and consists of three statements. In order to understand this program, the programmers need to know that LDA means load value of variable into the accumulator. ADD means add value of variable to the value stored in the accumulator. STO replaces the value of variable by the value stored in the accumulator. Assembly language needs to be translated into machine code using an assembler in order to run. See the next section for more detail. Computer programs can exist in several forms. Programs are written by humans in a form that people who are trained as computer programmers can be understand. In order to be used by computer programs needs to be translated into the binary instruction machine code that the computer understands. Humans find it very difficult to read binary, but computers can only perform operation writing in binary. A program must be translated into binary before a computer can use it. This is done by a utility program called a translator. These are several types of translator programs in use. Each one performs a different task. A compiler is a computer program that translates an entire program written in a high-level language into machine code all in one go so that it can be directly used by a computer to perform a required task. Once a program is compiled, the machine code can be used again and again to perform the same task without recompilation. If errors are detected, then an error report is produced instead of a compiled program. The high-level program statement becomes the following machine code instruction when translated. An interpreter is a computer program that reads a statement from a program written in a high-level language, translate it, perform the action specified, and then does the same with the next statement, and so on. If there is an error in the statement, then execution ceases and an error message is output, sometimes with a suggested correction. A program needs to be interpreted again each time when it is wrong. An assembler is a computer program that translates a program written in an assembly language into machine code, so that it can be directly used by a computer to perform a required task. Once a program is assembled, the machine code can be used again and again to perform the same task without reassembly. The assembly language program statement become the following machine code instruction when translate. The advantages and the disadvantages of compilers and interpreters are compared in this table. The interpreters are easier and quicker to debug and test programs during development, and easier to edit programs during development. But the disadvantages is programs cannot be run without the interpreter. Programs can take longer to execute. And the compiler, the disadvantages is a compiler program can be store ready for use. A compiled program can be executed without a compiler. A compiled program takes up less space in memory when it is executed. A compiled program is executed in a shorter time. But the disadvantage is it takes a longer time to write, test, and debug programs during development.